All right. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the third Club OS University. This month's webinar is entitled The Right Way to Communicate with Your Prospects. And I'm Pamela Kufal, I'm Content Director for Club Industry. And we are happy to be partnering with Club OS on these monthly webinars. Again, this is the third one in their series. Before we get started, I wanted to make sure that only the moderator and panelists are on camera. So please, if you do have your camera on, please take that off and put yourself on mute as well. You will have an opportunity at the end if there's enough time to ask questions. So I'm going to go ahead and turn things over to Al Noshirvani, who's the founder of MotionSoft. He's going to be moderating the panel today, and he'll be introducing the panelists. Go ahead and take it away, Al.
Thanks very much, Pam, and thanks everyone for joining us today. As Pam mentioned, my name is Al Noshirvani. I was the founder of MotionSoft. We sold MotionSoft to Daxco about a year ago, and I've been working with the Club OS team now for many, many years. Thanks to Rob and Allison Rand at Club OS for putting together these seminars. We've had very good feedback regarding them. Just a couple of housekeeping items. If you right-click on the three buttons that are on the speaker's view, you can actually select that so that the person that's speaking sort of pops out and you can see them speaking. So it's called speaker view. It's on the three buttons on the top. If you wouldn't also mind keeping your speakers on mute if they're not already, we can get started. So today's webinar is about the right way to communicate with your prospects. You know, one of the things that we really tried to work hard on was not to make this about COVID, but I think that COVID has certainly changed that, the way that we communicate with prospects, the way we market to folks. So we're going to touch on that a little bit. You know, the goal today is to talk about marketing, discover what kinds of campaigns and strategies are most effective coming out of this very challenging year. You know, how the landscape for prospects has changed and how it's changed from what it used to be, and how our two marketing experts sort of pivoting to succeed in what our new normal is. And then from a sales perspective, we want to talk about how the conversation is changing. You know, it used to be about getting tours and be-backs and membership appointments. Is there a different approach to sales strategy across the fitness industry? Most gyms have changed their pricing. Some have increased their pricing. And so, you know, what is it that's going to get prospects to come into our facilities and stay members of our facilities? So I'm joined by two industry experts, Lisa Maguire from the Hockessin Athletic Club and Diva Richards from Hard Work No Excuses. She's the CEO and co-founder. Lisa is actually the marketing and advertising director at Hockessin, which is based in Delaware. I'm going to pause for a moment and let Lisa and Diva introduce themselves. Lisa, since you came off mute, we'll go with you first, and then Diva, once she's done, we'll let you jump in. Go ahead, Lisa.
My name's Lisa Maguire. I'm the marketing and advertising director for Hockessin Athletic Club in Delaware. We're a top 10 single location health club in the nation. I have been with the club since before they opened. I started at the front desk before they built and opened the Hockessin Athletic Club, moved into the sales department and helped pre-sell the club. And I've been in the marketing department since we opened in 2007. I took on the director role in 2012. And been in the industry for quite a while.
Thanks, Lisa. Diva?
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Diva Richards. I'm the CEO and founder of Hard Work No Excuses Gym. This is a single club. I built it in 2018, right before the fun COVID. I've been in the fitness industry for over 20 years, worked at many clubs, seen the trends, the shifts, the changes. So this last year and a half has been very interested, and I'm excited to dive right into this with you guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Diva. And since you've been in the industry for 20 years, let's go ahead and get started with you. First of all, you know, what are you doing differently in terms of communicating with prospects, attracting prospects that you may have not done in the organizations that you were working for, now that you're the founder and CEO of your own organization?
We go hard on digital marketing. I mean, it's just what it is. Most of my member base, the average age is between 20 and about 45. So we do more Facebook than Instagram and things of that nature. We've invested a lot of money. Clearly, I forgot to turn off my phone. We've invested a lot of money in really just trying to get as many eyes on the business as possible.
Understood. And how is that different than what you were dealing with when you were in the earlier part of your career?
But digital wasn't even a thing. I mean, back then, everybody did, you would hand out mailers, you know, you would have little booklets when people came in, little pamphlets, a lot of aggressive, hard sales techniques at the door. And it's just, that's not the market anymore. People don't want, you know, 5-year commitments with hefty penalties if they decide to change their mind because they want to switch clubs. So the evolution, honestly, in the last 20 years a lot has happened very quickly, but the future is here and it's now, and we have to adjust to stay relevant.
Yeah, and staying on that sort of track, Lisa, you've also been in the industry for a long time. So clearly the way that we're communicating to members or prospects has changed. Is what they're looking for also different?
Oh, sure. I mean, and maybe not, maybe they're just more aware now of what they're looking for and how that's changed over time. But kind of to Diva's point, 15 years ago when I was on the sales team, there was like, people were not on Facebook. They, you know, especially our market. So our market's kind of like the opposite of Diva's, where we're more 35 to even 65 and over. You know, our average age is about 50. So we're definitely not using too much Instagram to reach those targets. But when we were selling gym memberships 15 years ago, it was really kind of about, and it still is about community, but it was more about what the gym had to offer them in terms of services and programming and offering. And now I think people are looking for a more personalized experience, and they're looking for more results-based, you know, I'm busy. I have this much time. I want this accomplished. I want to make friends. I need stuff for my kids, or I don't need stuff for my kids. I don't want to worry about kid stuff. And so communicating to each individual about their individual wants has become the real challenge, right? Trying to make our marketing and our communications more personalized.
That's interesting. You know, one of the things that URSA did last year in the middle of all of this craziness was establish a headlight team to sort of create the Got Milk campaign for the health and fitness industry. And one of the messages that came out, which I'd love to get your perspectives on in terms of our campaign or the name that we were going to sort of, or the slogan that we were going to sort of throw out in the fitness industry, was reconnect. I think the natural tendency is for everyone to say reconnect as, hey, let's all get back to the gym after COVID. But how do you think that message resonates? And Lisa, I'll start with you. How do you think that message may resonate with people, not just in terms of coming back to the gym, but more broadly?
I guess in a more broad sense, you know, they want to reconnect with the gym, with the community, but also reconnect with the kind of piece of themselves that they lost in all that time that they couldn't be around other people for any reason, let alone exercise or the mental health aspect, kind of reconnecting with the part of the workout that was their mental peace of mind, not just the physical aspect. I think just reconnecting on kind of all levels with each other, with the community, with themselves. I think it's a really broad term. I think that's kind of it was a clever campaign that you guys came up with.
Mm-hmm. And Diva, have you guys done anything around mental health? I think that's a really good point, Lisa. Have you guys, especially coming out of COVID, have you guys focused on mental health as a way of getting prospects to come into the facility?
You know, I will have to say directly, but indirectly. You know, we're not therapists, right? Even though fitness is therapy and it's part of everybody's mental well-being, a lot of what we did in getting our members to come back was say, you know, you need this for you. It wasn't about, you know, weight loss. It wasn't about going hard. It was about, let's just get out of, you know, purgatory. Let's do something different. Let's clear our minds and just kind of decompress and do something for us. Trying to just get them to let go of the tension and anxiety that everyone kind of felt, whether they admit it or not, over the last 1.5 to 2 years. Mm-hmm. So it was huge in getting people back. I even personally reached out to a lot of members saying, checking in, are you okay? when you coming back? They're like, and I'm scared. Well, come back and you work out 20 feet over there, but just come be in the room. Come absorb the energy. And so it was a big part for us to get our members back in the club.
Yeah, that's great. One of the other things that has changed in the industry, or at least I've seen a change in the industry, and maybe you can comment on this, Lisa, is, prospects used to all be treated the same. And it was all about get someone to come in the club. I can't remember the numbers, 3 times or 6 times or 8 times in that first month of membership, and everything will fall into place and they'll stay members forever. Have you guys done anything differently in terms of prospecting to personas? There's a big difference between a morbidly obese person who's never stepped foot in a gym and a guy who's training for, a woman who's training for the marathon. What do you do from an onboarding perspective as it relates to your prospects to differentiate between the outcomes and the goals that people have?
Sure. So we still, we haven't automated it entirely, but we did launch a new initiative kind of in our downtime from COVID, for a lack of a better term. We had less people, so we could focus more on those people that we had. Mm-hmm. So we're very fortunate. We still have a full in-person sales team. The salespeople now who, when they have a prospect and they got them to make the commitment to become a gym member, they now take all of the information about that prospect. So if they're looking for weight loss, if they're looking for mental health, if it's about yoga, if they're just there for their kids, but we know as fitness professionals that they need more than just for their kids. So we kind of take all this information that gets disseminated to all of our department heads. And then each of those department heads reaches out to that member on a personal level and says, hey, I saw you met with, or you just joined with Brett. Welcome to the club. He mentioned to me that you are interested in cardio. And so our group fitness director might reach out and say, we've got these cardio classes. These are the types of cardio equipment we have on the floor. Do you need anybody to show you how to use those? I can get you set up with a personal trainer. And so we've really tried to kind of break down that silo and integrate the approach so that we're all helping each other get these members integrated into things that are meaningful for them. Because the standard kind of everybody gets the same welcome newsletter and this is how it happens, it just isn't flying anymore.
You actually have departmental heads reach out via phone or email or some other means and connect with every prospect or every new joiner?
Every new joiner, yep.
Based on their interest. That's awesome. Diva, what are you guys doing on that front? Sort of persona-based approaches to prospecting and membership?
So what we do is, because we're a boutique club, about 400 members, we're still in a place where we can have a little more of that one-on-one and say, what do you need? Or when they come in, I've taught my team, we don't really have a sales team, but I have guys, I call them my front line. So they assess, okay, if somebody comes in and they're obese and they're shy, one of the first things we'll do is we walk them through and say, hey, in the pitch, a lot of us, we do a lot of different body types. Everybody looks different. We're inclusive. So as people come in, they're learning to pinpoint what those people may need. If somebody walks in, they go, I just want the classes. Great. So we have a variety of classes that work in this way. So we're constantly trying to figure out what they need so we can serve them better. Because I think before, and Lisa can probably attest to this, it was about what we as a club had. Well, we have the newest cardio and we have the newest strength equipment and nobody cares anymore. Like, what can you do for me? How is this club going to make me feel? And if we can make them feel good, they stay.
And what other sort of sorry, go ahead, Lisa, go ahead.
I was going to say, Diva, you're exactly right. We might have the best fitness classes in all the world, but if the person coming in doesn't like that particular instructor and that's the only person we put them with, we've lost them.
100%.
So I'm curious. I mean, we've never really in this industry had a problem selling. That's what we're really, really good at. But from a communication perspective, specifically to you, Lisa, what are you doing in terms of communicating to the member that joins in that first month of membership that's so critical? Besides the outbound calls from the departmental heads, is there any automated campaigns? The Club OS system has an automated onboarding process. What are you guys doing at Hockessin?
Sure. So we do have some automated emails that go out to our new members that join, and they can actually, our welcome emails get a really great open rate. So that's been successful. We are looking at kind of revamping that communication because we're finding so much more success on this more personalized approach. We're going to start taking this fed information from the sales team and automating that into a more personalized email campaign, but we have not got that implemented yet. We're still drafting all of the material.
Got it. Okay. Have you guys done anything on the digital side in terms of creating a space outside of the four walls of your gyms for members to be able to engage with you through streaming or pre-recorded classes, live classes, et cetera?
Sure, yeah. So we, as we all did, we hopped right on the virtual bandwagon because our members really wanted it. And what we found pretty quickly is that we were competing with Les Mills, who was offering our members this awesome deal. And it was, our classes in choreography just taught by their instructors. And we were competing with, Apple came out with their workout platform and Peloton. And so what we decided to do is instead of do this paid streaming thing where we're fine at it and our members are excited to see our instructors because they're too scared to come into the gym, we weren't great at it. And so we're still offering that, but it's free. Basically, our instructors, if they're hosting a class that's on the streaming schedule, they flip on the camera and our members join via Zoom, and it's all included. It's all open to anybody, to be honest. And we don't get a huge following, but it's relatively low stress, and the people who are using it seem to really appreciate it.
Awesome. And Diva, being a boutique operator, it seems that there was a lot more adoption and continues to be more adoption of streaming technologies by boutique operators than by traditional big box or full service gyms like Hockessin. Was that your experience? And what did you guys do? With 400 members, obviously staying engaged and continuing to communicate with them is so important because everyone matters. More so than in a larger big box club to an extent. But what did you guys do at your business?
We went virtual for a few months, actually. It went great. We did it via Zoom, low maintenance, easy to get in and out the platform. After that, we decided to maintain it. We created a platform, HWNE Live, which proved to be a lot more work because now it's like, okay, this is great, but now I have to get my team to film at minimum 20 workouts per week on top of the normal schedule. We just didn't have the manpower to maintain it. So now we're backtracking and I'm investigating some of the different platforms that we can use outside of Zoom so we can monetize it better. Because the thing with Zoom is it's a little tough to monetize. They're supposed to be building out a platform for it, but I need a place where you can probably have uploaded content, input yours, and there's some options out there. So I'm actually in the process of transitioning to something before January. So they have that option because you're right. We can't compete with Peloton. We're not Peloton. That's not happening, but your people want to see your instructors. They do. So I think whether you charge or not, it has to be offered to help with the club's value.
And are your prospects asking you for it?
What's funny? They aren't necessarily, because a lot of them have Peloton. Literally, I think everybody who's walked in my door has Peloton. If they don't own the equipment, they at least own the app. They've logged into the app. So they're not asking, but why not? It's all about eyes, right? Why not have their eyes still this way? We know they love us. They like the instructors. So I need those eyes this way. They're going to keep Peloton, but they also need us for an option.
That makes a lot of sense. So are tours, Lisa, the main avenue for sales for you still at Hockessin? I mean, is the idea to get someone to come into the gym, or have you been able to sort of digitally transform the joining process and focus on getting people to join without actually stepping foot? I know the price point plays a lot into this. If you're a $9 a month club, it's almost a commodity type sale. But when you get into higher price points like yours and Diva's clubs, people want, or owners historically have felt that you need to come in and you need to see the equipment and you need to touch the soft towels and you need to see our shampoos and all that sort of stuff. What's your approach been? Because obviously getting people to sign online is a lot cheaper. It's a lot faster. It's a lot better trackable. What have you guys done on that front?
So we haven't launched online, and it's actually not a matter of being old school with the tours as much as it is our memberships are a little bit complicated. So the way that they're set up, getting people to join online, they have to make decisions about whether or not they're going to have their kids, whether or not they're going to have nannies, whether or not they're going to do upgrades, adding on personal training and that kind of thing. And so we don't even have like my club online type of setup for people to manage their account. So we're a little bit behind digitally, but the tours method at our price point and with all of our services, it does help because there's so much you have to educate each new member on. And again, for us, with as many services, we have the ability to kind of capture a wider net of people, and therefore we can personalize it more when we're doing in-tour.
And what are your price points? I should have asked you both this question initially. Where are Hookessens at starting and sort of the top family members?
Sure. So a single membership, just, single adult age 24 to 64 is $96 a month. And a family of 4 with 2 adults and 2 children or more is $215 a month.
And Diva, what about you guys?
We are a single adult at $75 a month. And we have our upgrade membership, which is about $150 a month.
Got it. And so to attract a person that's going to spend $150 a month in a boutique environment, that's hard work. So what type of events, promotions, or trial memberships have been most effective for you? Do you even do trial memberships?
Yeah,
talk a little bit about that.
We started a 3-day pass where it kind of forces the person to come in 3 days in a row, try different things. No, we don't let them break it up. No, this is not about you coming once a week for a month. We want you to come immerse. We want to kind of put you in the ecosystem so you see what we're about. And the 3-day pass has done phenomenal. I tried to do like a 1-week pass and it didn't work as well. Don't know why. I guess nobody liked it, but there's something about the 3 days saying you got to come in these 3, whatever 3 days you want, whenever you start, 3 days from there. But it really kind of forces them into the ecosystem. And it's been super successful for us. Every time I try to change it, it doesn't work. So I'm going to.
Are you doing anything specifically or differently with them during that 3-day period?
No, I think what it is all the instructors know. So everybody's like, hey, this person's here on a 3-day pass. Jane's on a 3-day pass. Oh, what's up, Jane? How you doing? All right, good. Let's get the class. Let's go. Yo, have you tried this? Are you looking for a trainer? Like we're on them. We're already immersed them in the community. Yo, everybody say hi to Jane. Hi, Jane. What's up? 3-day pass. You're going to love it here. Like I let the members sell for me. I don't even have to sell. Members are your marketing team. Let them sell for you.
Love it. How about you, Lisa? Have you guys done any new events, promotions? I recently read about a club who had opened up inside of the many, many unused kiosks that are inside of malls, which I thought was a really brilliant idea. And they went to their local mall and they've got a kiosk that they're paying nothing for, and they've got a remote sales office there. Have you guys done anything like that?
And nothing to that scale. The closest mall, I think we get a lot of traffic that wouldn't necessarily come out to us. Mm-hmm. We're in a little bit more kind of suburban area. Mm-hmm. But for us, so we've always done like the 1-day pass type deal. We've tried 3, 5, 7-day passes. And what we did most recently, we kind of took the barrier away with that 1-day pass. So it used to be like you fill out a form online and then you come in and you have to talk to a membership person and then they give you a tour and then you get a 1-day pass. Now we email them the 1-day pass right away and it comes to them. And what we found is the people that want a tour still come in and call and ask for a tour before they use their pass. And the people that don't come in, use the club, and we reach out to them afterwards, ask them how it was, ask them if they enjoyed it. But we've had some great success with removing that barrier of like, oh God, now I have to talk to a salesperson. The other thing that we've done is we did as a promotion, we kind of, because we're so expensive, we removed that barrier to join. So anytime somebody has to hand you a credit card, that's a barrier to join, right? They've got to give you money. So pretty much our promotions every month surround around not collecting any prorated dues. They just come in, they sign the paper, they walk out, they put their card on file, they never have to swipe their card.
So you bill on the day of the join, basically?
No, we have a billing date that we do every month for everybody. So ours happens to be the 10th.
Got it. Got it. Interesting. Okay. Let's go to COVID and talk about shutdowns and some of the challenges that the industry had to deal with. I think that we've talked about digital marketing, we've talked about digital classes. I think the technology or COVID in some ways paved the way for large scale technology to take a bigger role in our industry. Do you think we've done a decent job in adopting these offerings in our businesses? Outdoor classes, I mean, even non-technology things, are those areas that you guys have focused on at all? And by the way, given the continued challenges that we're having with COVID, are you implementing things like outdoor classes, and are you promoting those to the prospects that you're talking to? Maybe we'll start with you, Diva, on this one.
We did outdoor classes from the beginning. When I designed my building, I picked a space where I would have a whole outside area. So we were already doing it. When COVID happened, I was like, change the marketing. We have specialized outdoor classes, COVID safety, we went hard. And once we were able to really move, we got a lot of members just because they were like, I'm not ready to be inside, but I still want to use all the equipment. We would bring all this equipment outside. Everybody, have the staff wipe it down. So the outdoor classes are a given. They're not going anywhere. They're part of what we do and what we're known for. Like that gym has really cool outdoor classes.
And where are you based, Diva? I'm
in South Jersey. South Jersey, close to Philadelphia.
You have the same, we're all on the East Coast here. So you have the same challenges that most, East Coast gyms will have in the wintertime. What have you done to solve the winter challenge? You continue to have the classes outdoors, even in the cold weather?
What's funny? Last winter, we kind of did. Unless it kind of snowed, they were still like, we just want to be outside. And I was like, well, if you want to be outside, you could be outside. I'm going to stand in this doorway and yell at y'all. I'm not running around. But, we still did stuff outside. The only real challenge was it got dark earlier. And I had to tell them, I was like, I'll keep all the doors open for you guys, but it's too dark. Y'all cannot be outside tonight. It's like pitch black at 5 o'clock. Yeah. So, but yeah, the outside thing was I'm going to be honest, if it wasn't for that, I don't know if I would have survived COVID.
Yeah, I think a lot of people.
I really don't.
Yeah. How about you guys, Lisa? Did you guys do anything like that?
Yeah, we did. We've got an outdoor turf space that we do classes on, and we did some work. We've got a parking garage. We bought one of those massive blow heaters to try and heat up during the winter months. And we had some diehards for sure show up to those outdoor classes, but by and large, I would say that ours probably weren't as successful as Diva's, but they were well received, and we are still offering outdoor classes even today.
That's great. Obviously, prospects come into the gym, they join, but being able to then upsell to them and sell more services and product to them, perhaps go from your regular membership to the $150 one, Diva, that you mentioned, that takes some work also. Have you guys started to begin the upsell project? Process rather. I know a lot of organizations just wanted to try and get people back into the club and not really pressure the upsell. Has that changed now? Diva, I'll start with you on this one. Are you actively upselling and communicating those additional benefits that someone may get at the $150 price point versus the $75 price point to your members? And are they biting?
They are. They're moving slow. I think everybody still has this lagging uncertainty, like, well, I don't want to upgrade because what if we close in January again? So I think there's still some edge and nervousness. But we literally just rolled this out about 2 months ago to kind of push them back. And everybody's asking questions. Everybody's like, well, I'll think about it. I'll see. I think a lot of it's just nervousness and uncertainty. Because even though, vaccinations have rolled out, people are still afraid that things are going to close down again and then what? Yeah. So we're going to still aggressively do it, but I know it's going to take some time. I don't expect to see anything serious until January.
How about you guys? Are you pushing the upsell, whether it be PT or your more expensive membership options?
Yeah, 100%. We've seen such a huge increase in new members coming into personal training. And really the only way we can explain it is that people are, one, looking for the one-on-one setting because they feel like maybe that's a little safer than going to their favorite fitness class. Two, maybe they've got some harder to reach goals if they, did a lot of eating over COVID instead of walking. And people are definitely buying. So we've found that the people that are joining the gym are using it more frequently too. I mean, we've definitely got less members, but our usage is it's through the roof. So people are really kind of taking to heart, they've invested this money and I'm going to use it. And they're more open to investing in the bigger ticket items like personal training or kids programming.
That's great to hear. I always like to, before we go to questions from folks, I always like to leave people with something that they can implement in their business. So I'll ask you both this question. Moving forward, what initiatives do you think prospects are going to be thirsty for in the future? And in your opinion, what's most important to them when looking for a new fitness routine? I'll start with what I've heard. I know that a lot of clubs that were previously annual commitment clubs are moving to month contracts. And that seems to give people, and Diva, you sort of hit the nail on the head, it gives people a little bit of comfort that knowing that, if things shut down again, or if I don't like this, I can leave. That's always been a challenge at high price point clubs like yours. It's different at a month-to-month, $9 a month club where you're replacing bodies very quickly. How are you guys dealing with that particular thing? And then to the meat of the question, and Diva, maybe we can start with you. What is the, give us a nugget that the operators that are on this call can implement besides the 3-day pass, which is a great one.
Thank you. It's about flexibility. They want to feel like they're in control of the membership. They really do. They want to feel like they're in control of the experience. So give them the control. They want metrics now. The reason a lot of the digital platforms are so successful is because they can see, I've done 30 classes in 30 days. So find ways to engage them with metrics. So this is a time for you to really dig into your members and ask them what they need. Like, they know you're in transition. You don't have to fake it. They know you're trying to figure it out. So ask them, guys, what do you need? But flexibility is going to be key, and metrics, I think, is really going to be the driving force next year in 2022. People want metrics. That's why things like Whoop and MyZone are so popular, because people want metrics, because they see that and that gives them accountability.
That's great. Yeah, in fact, I recently got an email from Peloton that gave a summary of everything that I did the previous month. How many miles, how often, how many METs, all of it. And it's nice to see that sort of thing, because there's some value there. And perhaps for gym operators, it's as simple as sending somebody a hey, congrats, you exceeded your previous month's check-in by 5. That's a great takeaway. Thanks, Diva. Lisa, anything from you?
Yeah, so those are both really good, and I love the idea of just the check-ins, because that's something that you could even probably automate relatively easily with your platform. I think the other thing really on top of those is a little bit getting back down to basics. And so if you can remember to do just the regular check-ins, like Diva said, ask your members what they're looking for, ask what they want, but also turn them into raving fans and try to, one thing that we have a hard time doing is such a large facility is creating the boutique feel that Diva's created. She knows all 400 of her members. So really getting to know them and celebrating them in ways that will help them market for you. Again, like Diva said, it's just so critical to have people out there, because the word of mouth more now than ever is so important. I listened to a talk with Blair McCaney recently, and one of the suggestions he does at his clubs is he writes all of his staff are responsible for writing 4 note cards a week. It doesn't matter what the note cards are about. They just write 4 notes. Oh, Diva, you were there. You heard it.
Yeah. I remember this. This is great.
Best idea. Yeah. You know, hey, Mrs. Jones, congratulations on your grandbaby. I hope you get to enjoy being a grandparent. And then they pop it in the mail, and it's got to do wonders for just how attached those members become to their club and to the staff.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Wonderful. If anyone has any questions, you can go off mute and ask a question. You can send it in the chat to me, and I can ask it however you feel most comfortable. And while I'm waiting for that, a couple of things. So one of the things that you're going to be getting from the team at Club OS is an invitation to the marketing Facebook page that Club OS has put together. This is a platform that sort of allows us to continue the conversation around this topic. So look out for that. And we are going to have another webinar Monday, November 22nd. That's just Thanksgiving week. So that we're going to talk about automation to save time for your sales team, which is obviously functionality that the team for Club OS is very well versed on. There is a question that came in to you, Diva. Do you use a marketing company to manage your digital marketing, or do you handle it in-house? And have you found any particular marketing avenues more effective than others in identifying qualified leads for your 3-day trial offer?
That's a lovely loaded question. All right, let's get it there, yo. I do use a company. There's no way I would be able, even though, again, I'm 400 members, but it's a lot. You still got to come up with templates, designs, I got to do A/B testing. Like, it's all stuff that I just do not have the time or desire to do. So yes, I use a marketing company. And the second part of that, avenues more effective than others, identifying qualified leads. You're going to get your most qualified leads through referral. Because when we shoot out, I mean, clearly when we market, we hyper target and all of that, but the most qualified ones are still going to come via word of mouth. So we do an in-house program where if the members refer someone and they join, they get a free month.
Got it. Lisa, are you guys doing anything like that, like a member referral program? You're on mute.
That they get a free upgrade to our Black Card membership, so they get a free month upgrade if they refer a member that joins.
Very cool. Good. Any other questions coming in? I don't see any others. Oh, here's another one that just came to me. Can you ask both attendees how do you budget for your marketing spend on a monthly basis? Is it I'm assuming the question there, is it a percentage of sales revenue? How do you plan how much money you're going to spend? Lisa, I'll start with you.
Sure. So we actually plan a year in advance, and we do it based on a percentage of the gross revenue. We do about 2%, and that includes everything, all marketing spend, including payroll. And then we kind of, from there, divide it out based on dues versus non-dues. So we've got some general marketing spend that goes into that, and then a much larger portion of the spend goes into new member acquisition and member retention than personal training and camp and all the other ancillary services.
Got it. And then one other question that came in, to either one of the attendees, what's been your most successful marketing campaign since you reopened? Viva, why don't you go first on that one?
Oh, sure. The one thing we do, and I don't do it all the time because every time I do it, it's crazy how many people, we do this thing called 31 for 31. And I don't know, I think it's just the alliteration, I don't know. But when we do 31 for 31, we get a crazy influx of members. So essentially you're getting to try our club for a whole month for half price. I do it 3 times a year. January, right before the summer, and then like at the end of the summer. And every time it is gold. So if y'all want to try 31 for 31, I don't know, it's been magic over here. So I don't know. People like alliteration, I guess, and repetition. It does very well every time.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to ask another question to you, Lisa. You feel free to answer the successful marketing one, but work in this answer also. Any suggestions for marketing? I mean, you guys are outside of Wilmington, right?
Yep, about 30 minutes south of Philly in Delaware, so really close to Diva.
Yep. So any suggestions for marketing to a small population or community? This is from William Stokes. We have a club in a town of about 10,000, but I have a difficult time growing and generating leads.
Same. We do have an external marketing company that we use for direct mail. We do a really small amount, maybe 2,000 pieces a month. Our Facebook marketing, our Google marketing. And so those things are all happening. Our market's a little larger than 10,000. We do a lot of communications to former members. Those are a huge source of joins for us. About a third pre-COVID, close to half some months since COVID. And then really kind of nurturing any prospect that we get in. One thing that was game changing for us that we did in 2019 is we automated all of the guests that were coming in. And so we filtered out of town guests and we only filtered local guests to the membership team. And that's been huge for gathering information. So if you're not checking in people digitally for your guests, if it's also on paper, I can't even tell you, our email list has grown by 5,000 in 3 years. Just yes. As far as marketing promotions, we've done some really great price ones, 2 months free. We do that in January, or have done that in January in the past. That's usually really big for us. It's been hard to do those this time around just because we're all kind of hurting for cash. And so you've got 2 months where you're not collecting membership dues. So that's difficult. Outside of that, we did a really successful promotion last September where we really communicated the value that's included in the membership, because we're much more inclusive than like a YMCA, even though we've got similar service offerings. Outside of those, I love the 31 for 31 that Diva said.
I was gonna
Take
say
that one.
Yo, take it. You said like 3 things I'm gonna steal, so don't worry. When you're in a small town, the other thing is great is community events. Like you need to be at every Harvest Fest, Fall Fest, race, everything you can be at and just have a table and have a presence will help you grow in a smaller town. So the more you can do that, the better. It'll just help you reach out to the people who are in your community so they get familiar with who you are and what you do.
I'll leave you with one that I heard the other day. It was get your enrollment feedback. So this was an organization that was charging enrollment, and they basically sort of did a little bit of a play on what we were talking about earlier, which is get people to come in that first month of membership. And their spiel was you pay your enrollment fee, but if you check in 8 times or more in the next 30 days or 45 days, we'll actually give you that back in the form of a dues credit. So I thought that was kind of a cool approach. So anyway, we are up on our time. Just again, a couple of quick reminders. Look out for the email from the team over at Club OS regarding the Club OS Marketing Facebook group, and sign up later this week for webinar number 4, using automation to save time for your sales team. That's Monday, the 22nd of November at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you to Diva. Thank you to Lisa, the team from Club OS, and the team for Questex for putting this together. And we look forward to seeing you next month. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.